Uniswap. They started a trend in mid-September, airdropping their governance tokens to those who had interacted with the automated market maker protocol. Then came the Badger airdrop, then Tornado Cash is torn, and just recently 1inch, which I called, well, ring the sirens and Happy New Year because there's gonna be more. It's time for Chico Crypto. Who doesn't like a new year after that 2020 we just had? And who doesn't like a good old airdrop Friday from the only channel who can spot them before they happen? But before we get into the airdrops, we got to understand why this one we're about to talk about is going to be extremely special. And guess what with this one? It all comes down to Ethereum scaling. You should know there are more than a few of the scaling solutions out there. There's multiple flavors of rollups like ZK, Optimistic, and Arbitrum. There's sidechains like XDAI and Matic, and then there's not one spoke much of, state channels like Raiden and Connext. Because of the multiple solutions, there has been a fragmentation of dApps choosing the solutions. Some are choosing rollups, but not the same flavors. Some are choosing XDAI, and some are choosing Matic. It's fragmentation, but one of those dApps, Synthetics, who has chosen rollups, put out a 2021 year prediction tweet thread, and it started out with this. He predicts L2 migrations and attempts to consolidate around a solution will take up most of the year. Fragmentation and forks will ensue across different scaling solutions. Basically what a lot of VCs imagined in 2016-17, but their L1 bags will still end up worthless? Fragmentation, forks, no agreement on a solution. That sounds like a major problem, doesn't it? It sounds like what Synthetics is using, rollups, isn't going to be the one rollup chain like many assumed. This means silos, layers that cannot communicate with each other. Yeah, they can communicate with the bottom layer 1 Ethereum, but with a dApp on an optimistic rollup layer 2, how is it supposed to communicate with a dApp on an Arbitrum layer 2? Where is that interoperability coming from, and when is it coming? Well, this leads us right into the airdrop, and it's from one of the scaling solutions that is not talked about very much, but ties everything together. Scaling with state channels, and it's from Connext. So in mid-November, 1.5 months ago, Connext tweeted this: cross-chain interop is the biggest barrier to L2 adoption today. Over the last few months, we've quietly built Vector, an X-chain routing network that works with L2s, ETH2 shards, and even other L1 chains. Vector is now on the testnet. Learn more with a link to their Medium article. So they've built Vector, a routing layer, which will allow different layer 2s to communicate, which will allow the communication between rollup chains and beyond. And it's been live on the testnet for over 45 days. So we gotta back up a bit to understand Vector. Remember the Reddit scaling bake-off challenge in July, a competition between the layer 2s? Well, Connext submitted as well, and their submission was called Spacefold. Spacefold, as we can see, had a great UI, and it demonstrated easy cross-chain transfers, even from layer 2s like from Matic to XDAI. Here's what Spacefold worked with back then: Matic, Optimism, XDAI, Scale, Arbitrum, and Amigo. But it looks like ZK flavor rollups were unable to work with Spacefold. Well, luckily, Spacefold was just V1, and Vector, which they launched in mid-November, is the next iteration of the communication layer. And diving into the Vector blog post from the Connext team, in November they said, not only will it work with any EVM compatible chain, but it will also work with non-EVM, including ZK rollups. But then down below they say the important stuff. We're scheduling a contract audit and expect this to be completed in mid to late December. That means Vector will be on the mainnet by the end of the year. And then they also say we're looking for a few early router operators who can provide liquidity to and from L2s and earn yield. Hit us up ASAP if that sounds interesting to you. So they were and probably still are looking for LPs, liquidity providers, and the mainnet for Vector could be coming any day. It's the new year, you know, and the end of the year has passed. So I'm sure some of you are like, frickin' Tyler, where is the news of this airdrop? Well, I don't know if they're gonna do one, but thanks for sticking around. Here comes what I found. So back to their November tweet about Vector. Some wild child asked, what is the ticker token for Connext network? Is it traded on exchanges. Of which the Connext Twitter replied, "We don't have a token at the moment." Woohoo! So like I said, airdrops have been trending, so I wouldn't doubt Connext takes a similar route of airdropping their network's tokens to those who have used it in some form. Remember how they said to hit them up about being an LP? Well, I might just do that. Use Spacefold on the testnet? I just might do that, and the links for all that is in the description. But I would be paying attention for their mainnet, which could be dropping at any time, and the opportunity to test out their routing layer, because hands down, Vector is the glue of layer 2. But regarding more airdrops, yes more! There was a big nothing burger from Matcha. Their surprise airdrop many thought was coming from this Christmas tweet was this: $50 worth of ZRX tokens to 50 lucky users. An airdrop of sorts, but not a new token. Like I said over the live stream this weekend, this one was not airdropping a new token. Matcha is from the ZRX team. So if you want to find an airdrop from the ZRX ecosystem, you need to look for something that's not built by the ZRX team. And you gotta find one that has been building with the ZRX team, building alongside as a relayer since 2018. Who am I talking about? Radar Relay. Now Radar Relay, they caught big hype in 2018, big investments all around, but that cooled down throughout 2019 and into the beginning of 2020 as ZRX protocol struggled to find its own liquidity shoes. But 2020 has been nice to ZRX, and liquidity is really picking up, getting over 1 billion in 24-hour volume here recently, and that is good news for Radar Relay. Now Radar put out an end-of-the-year tweet saying it's been another wild year on the frontier building products for our next financial system. We couldn't have done it without you. We are so proud of what we're building together and can't wait to show you what's next. Check out our 2020 Retro, which is their end-of-the-year update letter. And in it they said this: most public companies include a letter to their shareholders alongside their annual report. This letter is a rare opportunity for operators to speak directly to shareholders on vision, milestones, and strategy. This year we continue that ritual. Read 2018-2019. While most of you aren't shareholders yet, you've invested your time and energy to help us grow. This letter is to you. While most of you aren't shareholders yet, aka it sounds like those who have invested time to use Radar Relay may become token holders, aka shareholders, aka an airdrop. Now, the final thing I want to update everyone on is Etherisc. Yes, the decentralized insurance protocol I brought up on Tuesday. I am superbly bullish on this one, not only because of the use cases and what has happened with the other insurance protocols as of late, but also because Vitalik likes what they are doing. November of 2018, Camille Besse asked Vitalik, "Do you think insurance is a good use case of the blockchain?" And the Vitalik replied, "Things like HurricaneGuard.io are definitely really cool." And then going to that, Hurricane Guard, it's decentralized hurricane insurance, and it's of course powered by Etherisc. Now going back to Etherisc products, they also have something in the prototype stage, decentralized crop insurance. Well, that was promoted by the Ethereum Foundation, and specifically Etherisc was by one of the executive board members, Ayamaya Gucci, a few months ago in October at ETH Online in her keynote speech.
Another community member, Etherisc, is providing a solution to this huge challenge and opportunity.
Aya, part of the Ethereum Foundation executive board, she describes their crop insurance program going on right now in Kenya in collaboration with Chainlink. Booyakasha! Cheers. I'll see you next time.